drawing a fender. Basically what I drew out here is the actual specs of how the tire size will be. Now you guys don't have that. I don't have it measured out. I can measure it out right now. But that's based on these dimensions, the actual size of the tire. What I did was, let's see if I have different. Format my text because dimensions because you guys can't see it. So I'm gonna modify it. Go to text. Go to 1.5. To current. Close. There we go. Don't worry about the exact unless you actually want to make it exactly. You don't have to. But here is the 3.75 actually is the top piece where I'm cutting off, so the actual tire is going to be flat at the bottom. Now perfect circle. To do, there we go, the top view. So here are my first 3 dimensions. Now I did these things because I want to use the torus to actually make the tire. I think that's the easiest way to do it, because then you get the rounded edges at the end, which is what you want. So further ado, what you want to go is draw a circle. The circle, actually I didn't put diameter. Radius is 8, so it's a 16-inch rim, right? Yeah, 16-inch rim, and the rest is right there. If anybody wants that. But basically, to draw a tire would be to go to Draw, Modeling, Torus, and what I did was I selected the middle of the circle first, then you select the first junction, and then I'm going to select this junction right here at the end. So it looks like a huge donut, I know, but we're going to use that same circle we had in the middle to cut out the rim or hole. I'm going to move this over about 50 so I can use this circle and extrude it. EXT for extrude. Go to the isometric view so you can see it better. So again, EXT for extrude. I select the circle, extrude it out. Now since I know I moved it 50, the donut, I have to do the same thing with the cylinder. So I move it down 50, and I move it down so it goes right through the donut, like that. So what you want to do, the next step is going to be subtract. So you have to go to Modify, Solid Editing, and it should be the second one from the top. Subtract. At that point, you select the cylinder first. Enter. Enter. Okay, sorry. Select the cylinder first. Not the cylinder. Sorry. Select the donut first. Enter. And then the cylinder. And enter. And that should cut off your actual tire size. Now, to get that cut so it's not oval at the bottom, because of course no tire is, I had this additional material added to it which I can cut off. I made it 0.375 thick. So what I need to do is draw a rectangle that would revolve around, and I can then subtract it from this object here. To do that, I will have to go to a different UCX. My X and Y right now is on top view. You can go to your view, and here at the top, I'm going to change that to left or right would work. So left's fine. And next step I need to do is draw a rectangle this size with, I'm not sure what, pretty, about, I don't know, say 10 inches high or more. So I'm going to type in D, enter for dimensions. You get that option at the bottom. D, enter. Type in 0.375, and the height's going to be 10 or so. So I got that. What I want to do is take this and move it. Oops. So I go M, enter for move. or you can go over here to your move command, select the bottom piece, middle, bottom, and place it right exactly there, right on top of that red line. If your lines are red, probably it's black, but you can move it just from the top of the line to the top of your box. And what I need to do next is actually revolve this around the circle. Before I can do that, I do have to change my UCX back to top view. That way it rotates around it. So I go to my views, go over here, go to top, and I can go now to draw, modeling, revolve. Actually use, oh yeah, you want revolve. So you select this cylinder. I click enter. I click the middle of the circle as my axis start, and then I point up. Yeah. And so right now I can click to what distance I want, or I can just type in enter because it's set at 360, which I want is what I want. So I click 360. Next thing I need to do is just move this over here and subtract it from my donut. So I move it 50 exactly, and I use my subtract command, which is modify, solid editing, subtract. Select my donut first, enter, and select that cylinder. I cut up, and I got my tire. I can show you guys how to cut it up so you guys have those grip things on it, but we won't do that. I mean, you know, we should just do it for the hell of it. You guys don't mind. So we're gonna do the grips by creating a small V here, or triangle. So we know our tire ends right here at the red point, or if you're dimensioning it's 5.5. You guys drew that. I draw a triangle. I'll make it, I don't know, 0.5 by, actually that's going to be too big. So I'm just going to do 0.25 by 0.25. I created the bottom of the triangle and the center of it. Now I just have to close it up. You use polyline just to trace it over. So I'm going to make it into a polyline sooner or later. So now I have my triangle. And what I need to do is, of course, need to extrude that. So EXT, select that, extrude it out, and then I move it down. So it's at the center almost. That looks about right. Yes! Finally, question. Hold on. So basically what you want to do next is copy that over 50. You're going to scale it down. So scale it down so you guys can actually give a thickness to the tire. So we're going to type in scale, or you can go over here to the right side where it says scale. Select your item. Make sure you select the center, exact center of the whole tire, because if you don't, it'll scale it out to a different point, and that's going to cause issues. So I'm going to select that center, and I'm going to reduce it by, I don't know, 5%. So I'm going to do 0.95, 5% reduction. That doesn't look any smaller, but it's okay. Sure. Do it again. So you have your cylinder, you copied it. Okay. You go to scale on the right side, or you can type it in. Select scale. Select the object. Enter. Select the center. Make sure the center, or the end of the line, because that's my center. And I'm going to type in 0.95. Reduces my tire by 5%. Gets smaller. Doesn't look. It looks the same, but that's okay. And what you want to do next is actually move it over back 50. You can see that's a little bit smaller, and we're just going to subtract it out from each other. So modify, 3D solid editing, subtract, select the outer one, enter, select the inner one, enter. My tire is now cut through, so it looks great. Alright, still recording. Alright, after that, the next step will actually be to cut grooves. If you don't want to cut grooves, that's fine with me. I don't really, I mean, it's extra points if you do. It's not a big deal if you don't. I'll consider it extra credit. To do that, I will have to go back to my top view so I can draw exactly how I need to a triangle over here, or a square, or some other shape you prefer. But I gotta make sure I draw it over here at the end over here. So I'm just gonna draw it down. I'm gonna type in 0.25 because that looks about right. I'm gonna draw 0.25 for the height of my triangle. So it looks like that. You can delete that. That's my triangle. What I want to do is make it a polyline. I can do either p-edit and go through all that stuff, or this one's easy. I can just trace it over with polyline. So I select polyline and I trace over my triangle. Again, the triangle is 0.25 up and 0.25 wide. Once I have that, I'll go back to an isometric view. Oops, I don't want that one. That was better. I'm going to zoom into this area. What we want to do is extrude it out. So EXT, enter. Select that triangle, extrude it out, move it down, and I will stop there. So we're going to array it, this triangle around the circle. And by doing that, you just got to go to over here to array. This will be fourth one down, fifth one down. Select that. We're going to select polar up here. Make sure it's polar. Okay, polar. We're going to select our object. Over here, option is to select object. Our object is our actual triangle or square or whatever shape was. You'll click enter. Then the center point of where it's being revolved is again the same center we've been using for all the other things right there, center. And the next big question is how many do we want? How many pieces? How many numbers? Number of items. So I don't know exactly. I would say maybe 72. We don't know yet. We'll just do preview. What do you guys think? It's good? Alright, I guess I'm talking to myself here. Alright, we got a nod. About to talking to myself. Alright, 72 sounds good. I'm going to keep that. Enter. If not, just click escape and it'll go back to that menu and you just change the amount of pieces you want. Go rotate it around so I can grab all of them at once. This is so much easier if it's rotated. Otherwise, grabbing each one will kill me. So I'm just going to rotate it so I can just grab all of them and not worry about it. So I select it all and I'm just going to move it over 50. Ooh, sorry. Just make sure your UCS is the right way. Then move it over. Make sure your ortho is on. Rotate around so you get a better view. Ah, jeez. This is going to rotate. M for move, and I'm moving it over 50. And of course, our favorite tool is subtract. So subtract. Select the tire itself first. Enter, and you just gotta select all of them except the tire. So deselecting, you just hold Shift and you deselect your tire, and you click enter. Hopefully your computers won't freeze, so do save your work before you do this part. It might freeze. Alright, so I do actually have my cut, and it left enough tire because I don't have gaps. Oops. And looks pretty decent. So get some traction. So that's that tire project.